Why has this become the new crazy uniform?
Bruh.
Every time I see a video on TikTok and the person has multicolored hair and this stupid thing in their nose, I always know they're gonna say something crazy, and they literally never let me down.
Gender is a social construct.
Never. So I found this video from the Libs of TikTok's Twitter page. So right off the bat, you already know she's gonna say something wild, especially when you look at her hair and her bull nose ring. But let's take a look.
I'm feeling spicy, so here's my hot take of the day. All white people are racist. Every single last one of them, all of them are racist. And I don't mean that to say like every single individual white person, if I talk to you, you would have some kind of racist ideology. I'm saying that as a white person, you uphold a system of racism by literally just being white. I believe if you're not spending your literal entire life dismantling racism, then you're contributing to its continuation. And people get so like, whenever like I say like people are racist, like why is it such a big fucking deal? Like, yes, you're racist. Like, okay, we've established that. Now what are you gonna do to change it? Racism refers to power and race. If you are the powerful race in a society, then you're fucking racist. Like, I just don't understand why it's so taboo. Let's talk about it. Let's accept it so that we can work towards changing it. We're never gonna get anywhere if people won't just fucking acknowledge it in the first place.
Who pissed her off? Not every white person is racist. Not that I need to tell you guys that. I'm sure you all know that. But the fact that she fixed her mouth to go online and put this out into the world.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
You know, when I was growing up, race wasn't such a big thing. And I really feel sad for this next generation of children that is so acutely aware of race. Like when I say race was not even a thought, I didn't have an understanding. I didn't have a concept. I've mentioned in other videos that I am not biracial. I have two black parents. They're both black and they're both of a darker complexion than me. And I remember, like, to this day, my mom still makes this joke. She used to tell me that I was black. And I would say, no, mommy, I'm peach.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's weird.
I literally had no concept. As a kid, I said I was peach because when I was in school and I had to color myself in, I took the peach crayon because that was the one that I had that most closely resembled what I looked like. And I would say, no, mommy, I'm peach and you're brown. No, you're not black, you're brown. Your skin is brown. My skin is peach.
What the hell?
And it took a long time for me to understand that there's a difference between what color your skin is and race. I don't think I actually grasped that concept until I was like 11 years old. Like it was never a thought to me. I didn't grow up thinking, oh, this person is Chinese, this person is Sri Lankan, this person is Mexican. My friends were my friends. It was never a thought to me that they were different from me ethnically. So it's so sad to me that there is this generation of children who are growing up with this toxic ideology. Like, how old is she? She looks like she's like at most 19 years old. That's really sad that at this age, these are the toxic ideas that she has. And I'm not going to act holier than thou. There was a period in my life where I had this really toxic mindset that anytime there was a person of another ethnicity, especially white people, who did something that I perceived as a transgression, like for example, we're walking into a mall and they don't hold the door open for me, or I come into a store and they don't immediately say hi. My first thought was always, oh, it's because I'm black and they're racist. That was my thought. I used to have that mindset, and I had to make the conscious decision to say that it's not healthy. It's very toxic, and it kind of makes you very pessimistic about the world. And really and truly, people are assholes for so many other reasons other than racism. Sometimes people are literally just miserable. Sometimes people have social anxiety. Sometimes they actually just did not see you, so they didn't know you were there. Sometimes people are in a rush. Sometimes people are having a bad day. Sometimes there are so many other factors for why they are behaving in a certain manner. And it has nothing to do with the fact that they dislike you because of your ethnicity. And I honestly, I do that when I feel like someone maybe was a bit rude to me. I go through every other possible reason that maybe they did it. And if I go through the entire list and I end up at racist, well then okay, so be it. But at least I didn't go into the situation assuming the worst of that person. And I think it's important that people of color, especially black people, We do not co-sign messaging like what this girl was saying, because you cannot counter racism with additional racism. It just doesn't work like that. So I was looking in the comment section, and I did see some other people of color, some other black people who voiced their thoughts on the video. And I have to say, I am really happy to see that there was pushback. So Sharika Soul, she tweeted, "That's why I don't care anymore about racism. We have turned into the evil our ancestors fought and died for." There was this gentleman. "Yes, you're racist. Now, what are you going to do to change that?" Oh, the irony. There's this tweet: "Calling people racist is a great way to excuse your shortcomings without doing the work to improve." There was this one I thought was kind of funny. "Man, Lil Pump fell off. Eskid it! Eskid it! Eskid it!" Oh my gosh. Lil Pump. Larry Crowder: "What about the white people who freed your race? Are they racist also?" And you see, this is something else that I wanted to talk about in this video. Allyship. Allyship is so important. When we as black people say to white people that you are inherently racist just by existing, how are we welcoming them into being an ally to our community? When you go online and say things to basically shut the community out, like for example, when Black Panther Wakanda Forever was coming out, there was black people who went online, created TikTok videos, and they said, "White people, you're not welcome. You're not welcome to watch this. Stay home. If you want to buy a ticket, give it to a black person. Black people need to watch this movie. Stay your ass home."
If you really want to prove to black people that you love us and you care about us and you are down for the cause, do not go see that movie opening weekend. You buy your ticket, you give it to a black person or a black family who can't afford to go. And then you go sit at that theater in front of the doors. You make sure that every black person in that theater can enjoy that movie in peace. You make sure that you use your body to block us from anybody who would be coming in that theater to do us harm. That is your job.
Like what? First of all, white people's money spends just as good as black people's money. So if they want to go spend their money, I'm sure Marvel will be happy to get the money from everybody. That's number one. Number two, as someone who is a fan of the franchise, I want to see it do well. Just selfishly, I want to see it do well. So whoever has the money and the interest, you go watch it. You watch it, right? I want to support the talent. It's a black man who directed the movie. It's black people acting in it. It's showing African culture and actually Mayan culture. Why wouldn't you want as many people as possible to go see the movie? Recently in Canada, there was a theater play that was being put on for Black History Month, and they put out an ad saying white people are not allowed. As a society, if we want to eliminate racism, we need to integrate. We need to share our cultures with each other. That is how you remove the walls, the barriers, the ignorances. If someone is ignorant about things that are important to the black community, you can't really get mad about it if you refuse to allow them into your spaces when they want to learn. If you are putting on a play for Black history, a play that is meant to showcase Black culture, to teach Black culture, and to teach lessons or whatever is being contained in the play, I don't know, I didn't see it. My presumption is that it's going to be educational. Why wouldn't you want people, especially white people, to come and see it and to learn and to support financially? Because this was not free. Like I said, white people's money spends just as good as black people's money. Why would you shut out a whole demographic of people who are willing to come and support what you're doing? That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And when you think back to how slavery was ended, the slave trade back in Africa was actually ended because the white British people were the ones that said, this needs to stop. When you look at slavery in the US, it was white people who were fighting to end slavery in the US. And when you look back at the Jim Crow era and people were protesting against segregation, you had black people sitting at the counters saying, we're not going to leave this restaurant. We have the right to sit here and to eat. And you know who else was sitting next to them? White people. There was white people who supported it. There was white people who participated in all sorts of protests in support of equality. So you can see historical evidence of white people who have supported black people when black people have been fighting for civil rights. Even the Black Lives Matter protests that have happened recently, the peaceful ones. you have seen that, yes, there are Black people protesting and also white allies showing up to support their Black friends, their Black community, their Black coworkers, their Black family. So for this girl to go online and say all white people are racist, like, girl. And then people in the comment section were saying she's probably white. Because if you look at her, she looks biracial. I mean, I'm one to speak because I'm not biracial, but I could pass as biracial. But this girl looks biracial. So maybe she has some self-hate going on. I don't know. But I honestly think that we as a society would be much better off if we focused on culture rather than race. And the reason that I say culture is because, like, when I meet people from other cultures, that's truly when I realize how much similarities that we share. Like, for example, I'm of Caribbean descent, and in the Caribbean, we have a drink called sorrel. Sorrel is something that they make in most Caribbean islands. They make it in Jamaica, they make it in Trinidad, and you know where else they make it? They make it in Mexico. I thought this was something that was unique to my country and to my people. And when I went to Mexico and they had the same thing, I was shocked because I thought it was unique and I thought it was special. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's not as special as I thought. They make it here too. In the Caribbean, we have something called pilau. Pilau is like rice cooked up in a pot with meat and with beans, or you can put vegetables. You can make it vegetarian, you can make it with meat, you can make it however you want, and it's delicious. But you know what pilau is also similar to? All these cultures have their own versions of the same thing. And I keep equating it to food because I love food. But honestly, that's genuinely how I bond with people from other cultures. You know, in Trinidad, we make roti. You know where else they make roti? In India. So I have a friend who's Indian. She made me some roti. I compare notes. Oh my gosh, it's delicious. You guys make curry. We made curry.
Oh my God! Wow!
Like, we have a lot in common. You know, and I remember I was watching an interview with Conor McGregor after one of his fights that he lost. And he's like, you know, I took my licks and...
Just taking the licks, man. It's a bastard of a game.
And when he said he took his licks, I was like, what? They say that in Ireland? Like, we say that in the Caribbean. Like, when, you know, when your child's misbehaving, you give them licks. They say it in Ireland. Like, I think if we actually looked at culture, we will see we have a lot of overlapping similarities. You know, I would love to see a day where people focus more on culture rather than race. Because yes, race, you know, you're white, you're Black, you're Asian, whatever, those are very clear lines. But when you look at cultures, it's like a Venn diagram that has a bunch of overlapping layers, and we actually have so much more in common than we have apart. And I have to say that I do feel bad for some white people. I know some white people who, they are such nice people, and they try so hard to, like, not offend people that they walk on eggshells. Like, the other day I was at the gym and I was wearing a knee brace, and this man, you know, he's like a middle-aged white man, and he says to me, he's like, oh, did you injure your ACL? And I explained to him what happened. Yeah, I had ACL surgery, meniscus surgery. We were having a conversation and there's a point in the conversation where he was telling me that one of the employees was helping him learn about, you know, how to do proper exercises, about his proteins, you know, stuff like that. And there's two guys who work at the front, and they're both Black. And he didn't want to say the word Black. You know, he's like, you know, Brendan was helping me. And I'm like, who's Brendan? And he didn't want to say Brendan, the tall Black guy. It's like, you're not going to offend me by saying the man's Black. I mean, I have eyes. I have eyes. I can see that he's Black. And I'm also Black. So I don't take offense to the word Black because it's what I am. That's how I identify. I was assigned Black at birth. A few years ago, I had a similar situation with a friend. This is my friend, someone that I have like a friendship with. We were at the gym, and he's a white guy, and he was trying to, like, you know, say something about this guy who was by the weights. I don't even remember what the context was, but he was just like that guy over there, you know, that like the guy. I'm like, which guy? There's a couple guys over there. Which one? And he's like, the Black guy. And I was like, why are you whispering the word Black? Why are you whispering it? But, like, I get it. There's people don't want to be perceived as racist because society has become so sensitive. So, like, there's so many white people who will go out of their way to try not to offend people. And for this girl to say, oh, all white people are racist. No, it's not true. It's not true. But anyways, those are my thoughts. What do you guys think? Whatever your thoughts are, please share them in the comment section down below. If you like this video and you want to support it, you want to help it survive in the algorithm, please hit the like button. If you want to support my channel, please hit the subscribe button. And if you would like to see more content, I have these two right here. So I have this video and that video, and you can check those out after this. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.